Yeah, hi, this is Chris from Heavy, and you're listening to our latest interview with Jeremy DePoyster from the Devil Wears Prada, talking about their latest album, Color Decay. So, the Devil Wears Prada released your eighth album, Color Decay, back on September the 16th. So, how has the early response been?
Through the roof. We are floored by the reactions to it. Um, you know, in 2022, it kind of feels like our main goal is building a authentic emotional connection with our audience, and this really happened here. Obviously, we love making fun, spicy, heavy songs about zombies, but it's a totally different feeling when you can connect emotionally with people, and that's great.
It's more than great, it's perfect. So, as mentioned, this is your eighth album now. So, what do you gauge the successful release on? Is it fan reaction, sales, something else?
It's almost 100% fan reaction, with a little bit of reviews mixed in, but almost 100% fan reaction because you know that's who uh, that's the reason we're here. Those are the people that come to our shows. Those are the people that listen to us on Spotify and everywhere else. And you know, yeah, that's it. It's only that. I don't care about sales at all. It means nothing to me.
That's so refreshing to hear, mate. So refreshing. So, the press release refers to the ever evolving sonic style presented on Color Decay. So, what does it actually mean by that?
Oh, I think rather than be defined to a sound being what the band is, uh, pushing that envelope is more important to us. So, like, we never want to be put into a musical box, even if that means taking risks that might set us back by other metrics. Our only goal and our only measure of success is creating new sounds that have never been heard before and performing them effectively. So we don't always hit, we have a lot of misses, but it's worth the risk to us because we would rather be original than any other measure of success.
Fair call, mate. So, is this evolution something that is discussed during the writing and recording stage, or is it more of a natural type thing?
I think it's more natural. I think we're just very hungry creatively to do new things and to chase. There's a sort of high that you get the first time you hear a song with a sound you've never heard before, whether it's pop, rap, rock, metal, anything, hardcore. There's that serotonin rush that we're addicted to from that feeling. So when you create something or the people you're working with create something that gives you that serotonin rush, that's when you know it's working. So I think it's a little more organic. Obviously, we have a lot of conversations about what we're going to do, but I don't think we're ever like, let's be original. It's like, we just hope we're already going to do that, I guess.
And the themes that run through the album are along the lines of like mental health, getting older, and dealing with it. So, are they from a personal point of view, or would you say they're a bit more generic?
I would say 100% personal. Everything that's written on the album uh, is a story that had personally occurred with someone in the band, with the exception of the song Hallucinate, that's based on a story that Mike was reading. But everything else is a very, very, very personal story and struggle that, just feels cathartic to put out in the world.
That just puts everything in a different perspective completely, doesn't it? So, the album was created last year in a remote hideaway in Wisconsin and Desert Hot Spring in California. So, firstly, why choose those locations? And secondly, how did they help in the outcome?
Well, Wisconsin was because Mike uh, was not making himself available free time wise. So we had to go to him. He lives in Wisconsin. He was like buying a new house or doing some construction on his house or something. So we're like, all right, well, we'll come up there. And then Desert Hot Springs was just, we liked the desert vibes. We wanted to do something very different than where we all live. And I love the Queens of the Stone Age, desert rock vibes and things like that. So we just wanted a little injection of flavor from our surroundings into there. So yeah, it was cool.
Well, it sounds like it worked a treat, bro. Well done. So, Devil Wears Prada's keyboard and synth player Jonathan Gregg assumed the role as producer for this album. So, what are some of the benefits and negatives of having someone inside the band take on that role?
To be cliche, I don't think there is a negative, but that's only because he's such a talented guy. The positives are that because he opens himself so much up for feedback and uh, because we've worked with so many other producers, all of them incredibly talented. Every producer we've worked with has been really talented, but he knows that feeling of being the artist and a producer forcing their vision on something and you wanting to clap back and say, you have to trust me. That's why I'm still here as an artist, is I need the final say. So allowing us as collaborators as well to be like, this part right here, dude, that's not it. The rest of the song is awesome, but that's not it. I think John and I and Michael as well are all very confident, but not egotistical. So like we don't need validation from our ego because we're confident. We believe in ourselves and we're confident enough to like make strong decisions, but we don't need like every line and every little riff and every little thing to be validated. So it allows us to make really cool stuff because we're just like, oh yeah, you don't like that one? Cool, delete it, move on to the next thing. So
That attitude certainly makes things a lot easier, mate. Mike is quoted as saying, I believe you can define our band by color decay, which is a pretty massive statement, man. Like, do you agree with that and why?
I totally do. I think color decay is the most focused vision of something that we have been trying to create for the last decade. It is the most aggressive in certain areas, the most emotive in other areas. To me, it feels like the true evolution of a sound that we first dialed into with our album Dead Throne, which was breaking away from the cliches of metal that are very fun and yet something that are hard for us to relate to at times, and diving deeper into the emotional state. You know, a lot of that album is a breakup album. A lot of this album is a breakup album. And also, I think we were creating sounds in that time period in the same way we are now that nobody else is doing, because, you know, I'm super influenced by our peers. I just don't want to make the same music as them. And I think they feel the same way. So yeah, I agree.
Well said, mate. So you released the EP Z2 only last year, and it's a pretty quick turnaround for this album after that. So was that planned the whole time, or did Z2 get the creative juices flowing that much you just had to continue?
I think so. I mean, we released our last full length only 3 years ago, literally today. So I don't think we've ever had a problem working psychotically. Like our first like four releases came out within like 5 years, and then we are just bang 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 bang. I think we focus more of our energy into our home life for a bit, and then when we came back and really focused on the band, I don't think we've let up. But yeah, I mean, John is just a really aggressive person. He works with other bands literally all the time. Like he's working on Papa Roach stuff and A Day to Remember stuff and this, that, and the other all the time. He's always getting sessions sent to him, even on the road, and having to work on it. So, he considers this his 9 to 5 job. And so he does this thing that he calls writing for the garbage can, which is basically write something with no intention of having to release it. Just get ready to throw it away. And then if you actually like it 2 days from now, go back to it and keep working on it. So because of that sort of mindset, he's just always cooking up stuff.
Definitely a different way to do things, but it sounds like it works, so good on him. Hey, going back in time a little bit, man, like the Devil Wears Prada started back in 2005. So what was the musical climate like back then that gave birth to the band, and where did you fit in?
The scene that we grew up in was very much focused on hardcore and straight edge hardcore, and that's a lot of the music that we liked. We were definitely the black sheep a lot of times at the shows that we would play, just because we had a lot of singing and keyboards and melody. But it was a very supportive community for the most part. Like as long as you were cool and nice and got the crowd going. You know, everybody of all those kind of things worked really well together. I think because we were so isolated on this island of Ohio, where it was not culturally rich, we had nothing going on at all. We were addicted to finding stuff from the internet that like was inspirational to us. So, you know, our musical scene existed really far outside of just like where we were from. So I don't know. We just wanted to get out of there. Honestly, I remember the first time we had all gone to California. We were like, you know, we're hillbillies. So like we get out to California, we're like, whoa, cool. Like there's Hollywood. This is sick. So that was crazy.
That's a great story. So back then, man, like, what was your early vision for the band, and how has it changed since?
I think our early vision for the band was just to be our own thing. You know, we liked a lot of other bands, and so we just wanted to throw our instruments around and be crazy like the Chariot, but then we wanted keyboards like Under Oath, and then we wanted, you know, metal riffs like these guys and those dudes and stuff. So it was just make our own thing. And so I think now, I don't want to say it's weird. It feels more similar to those days now than it did 10 years ago. Like it feels more like the very beginning of that energy and the connection with the crowd, especially on our last couple of tours and the tour we're on right now, where it's like we're the same age as our fans and we're all very connected. So yeah, I guess it's the same, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense, brother. So what does Devil Wears Prada got planned for the rest of 2022 and beyond then?
That's a great question. We're going to finish up this European and UK tour. Next year is going to be a lot of touring. We obviously have the album now, and we are going to learn how to play as much of it as we can and come out and do it. So we have a bunch of stuff on the books right now. We want to play most everywhere in the world that we can in 23, and just pump out this record. It's like it's Color Decay time for the next year, so we're dialed into it. And we have some other stuff cooked up. We have a bunch of stuff cooked. I want people, you know, every quarter to be like, no way, like how do they keep doing this stuff? So it's a full-time job for us. You know, we take it seriously, so we got a lot of stuff to put out.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. The Devil Wears Prada's latest album, Color Decay, is out now, so get amongst it.